As the international break comes to a close at the time of recording on Tuesday evening, it is time to predict scores for game week 8. Looking back, way back now, at game week 7, Nathan, you came away with 5 out of 10 results. The same as myself, but you came away with 2 perfect scores and I came away with 1 perfect score. Top scorer though for game week 7 was Steady 7 on 20 points, and Steady 7 had 5 perfect scores. Looking at the overall leaderboard though, Hewer again is top of the shop on 77 points, and his nearest rival Pirio 1020 moves up into second place, joint points with yourself, Nathan, and I dropped 4 places down to 8th position. Moving on to game week 8, we've got some real tricky fixtures to predict, but it all kicks off Saturday lunchtime at the City Ground, where Nottingham Forest host Chelsea.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest, there's a lot of toxicity there at the moment. Didn't go into the international break well. Pretty much the most out of form team in the league. Even Wolves, who were sat bottom, have got better form at the moment. No wins in 6. 4 out of 6 losses as well. Already calls for Postecoglou to go, but I think that's just the negativity and a bad transition period. And they're coming up against a Chelsea team who've been fairly inconsistent prior to it, but they did beat Liverpool, which is the height of inconsistency. They did lose to Man United, but obviously Sanchez got sent off, lost to Brighton, another red card there as well. So it could go either way. They never say back the early kickoff, but I have to back it to Chelsea 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with a 2-0 victory to Chelsea as well. Chelsea looks like they're going to be missing Enzo, and he's been really good. I think he's been playing in the number 10 role as well, with João Pedro has been playing as the striker. So yeah, Nottingham Forest, not great since Postecoglou has come in. He's probably finding himself under a lot of pressure. I don't think they'll score in this one yet. Chelsea with a 2-0 away victory. Next up, we've got the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. I mentioned in Brighton, they host Newcastle. This ended up 1-1 last season. Newcastle got a real mean defence, currently in 11th position, but they have only conceded 5 goals, and only Arsenal can better that record. Brighton, inconsistency, you've been saying, in the Premier League. They currently are 1 position below Newcastle, but on the same number of points. Just the 1 win in their last 4 fixtures, but they are strong at home. Gordon has impressed for England in their victory against Wales, and at the current time of recording, in their away match against Latvia. So I'm going to have to sit on the fence with this one. I think the spoils will be shared. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Interesting. I'm probably going to narrowly edge it to Newcastle. Now, main reason being, no matter what season it is, Newcastle always start slowly. They started again slowly this season as well, so it tends to be after the second international break around October, November that they really start to pick up. Brighton, I do like what they're doing, but this Newcastle team is just way too strong for me. So yeah, 2-1 to the Geordie boys. Anyway, moving on, Burnley up against Leeds. The battle of the 2 promoted sides. Leeds love to score a lot of goals. Burnley will bore you to death and are just... Burnley are, of course, in the worse form than Leeds at the moment, who actually have a win under their belt recently. Could go either way ultimately, this one, as it is at Turf Moor. If it was at Ellen Road, then I'd give it a comfortable win to Leeds. I don't know. I think it's just going to be a narrow 1-0 to Burnley. Scott Parker masterclass.
Yeah, I've had to go exactly the same as you on this one as well, Nathan. I'm going for a 1-0 scoreline. I know the likes of Lyle Foster probably going to be missing for Burnley here, and possibly Jayden Anthony as well. Let's touch and go whether he'll be ready for the weekend. Leeds, okay, I know they've won once on the road this season, but they've also lost the other matches that they've participated away from home. So 4 losses in their last 5 matches for Burnley, but I think they'll just about get all 3 points. Very tricky one to predict this one. Yeah, 1-0 victory for Burnley for me here. Next up, we've got Crystal Palace against Bournemouth, and both of these sides have done really well so far this season. Palace, okay, they lost that last match against Everton at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, 2-1, a late victory there for the Toffees. Bournemouth currently in 4th position, just the one defeat like Crystal Palace. They came away with a 3-1 home victory against Fulham last time out. So, yeah, Sarr back to full fitness now. Another one that ended as a draw last season, 0-0. I think they'll both score in this one because they've both got firepower. Mateta looks like he's getting them in positions, but he's not putting the ball in the back of the net, is he, for the Eagles? Maybe he'll get one here. I think it's going to end up all square. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Interesting. I don't know why. I feel like this is going to be a bit of a goal fest. Both teams doing ridiculously well. The thing that I will give it to Palace is I don't think Everton have lost at home yet in the league at all at their new stadium. The only game they've really lost that I can remember is that Merseyside derby, and some of the results have been absolutely fantastic. So I don't know which way to take it, but I think Palace will edge it in the last minute. Very high scoring game, 3-2, probably a Mateta goal. Contradicting what you just said. Moving on, Manchester City up against Everton. Obviously, just speaking about Everton, Man City been fairly decent before the international break. They did have those 2 losses, which is why they're in 5th at the moment. But Everton being absolutely resolute at home, fairly solid away, but they have had some quite tricky fixtures at the start of the season. Which way do I go for it? Looks like it's going to be a Man City win for me. However, I don't think it's going to be ridiculously convincing. Yes, I know they have been scoring a lot of goals, and Doku looked on absolute fire when we watched him last night. So, yeah, let's go 2-0 to the Citizens.
Yeah, Doku ripped Ben Davies apart, and now Ben Davies is injured, so he'll be unavailable for Spurs this weekend. Talking about Manchester City, though, against Everton, Haaland in the form of his life. He is, for Norway, for Manchester City, just knocking the ball in the back of the net. Probably saying that now, he'd probably blank in this one. I think they'll win this one, Man City. I think Everton will score because Man City defensively this season, for me, haven't been that convincing. Okay, they've only conceded 6 goals, but defensively for me, they haven't been convincing, you could say. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory to the Citizens. Next up, we've got Sunderland coming up against Wolves, and surprisingly now, it's 2 matches undefeated for Wolves. However, those have been back-to-back draws. A decent enough 1-1 draw against Brighton in the last fixture. And prior to that, it was an excellent draw away against Spurs. Here, going away against Sunderland, which for them, they've been fantastic at the Stadium of Light. A 2-0 reverse against Man United, when a lot of people, I think you tipped.
Yep.
I can't remember if you tipped Sunderland to win that one or not. I think I went for a draw. But in this one, I think it's going to be another score draw here. I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Yeah, Wolves slightly turning the corner. Probably just peeking around the bend, aren't they? Yeah,
I think that momentum's gone now for Wolves, and to be honest, wrong time to play Sunderland at Stadium Light. With the way it's going, they're on 11 points at the moment. They could probably break their, 2016-17 points total by Christmas, which is just absolutely ridiculous, and actually, to be fair, actually good to see. But yeah, I just can't see Wolves winning this one. Sunderland just looking absolutely fantastic at times, a bit ropey on the odd occasion when they go away from home. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 to the Black Cats. Anyway, moving on, 5:30 on Sky. Fulham up against Arsenal. Arsenal top of the tree. Gyökeres, as I keep saying, he's not had the greatest of starts in the Premier League, and he was absolutely woeful in the international break, but you could say the same about Isak as well. Sweden, absolutely shocking. But Fulham, they've been fairly resolute at times, haven't they? Lost their last 2, however, to Villa and Bournemouth. Villa resurgent, and Bournemouth, who've been absolutely ridiculous. So it's quite hard to tell how they're doing pretty much at the moment. But Arsenal, they just sneak it on short margins, don't they? Let's go 1-0.
Yeah, Fulham have been very good at home this season. Resolute, as you say, but they're coming up against the meanest defence in the Premier League for this season. Odegaard looks like he's going to be out for quite a while, maybe something like 6 weeks. He'll join Madueke in the treatment room, which means the onus is going to be put on the likes of Eze and Saka, and Saka scored a superb goal against Wales in the last week. So yeah, I think Arsenal are going to have too much for them. I can't see Fulham getting past that Arsenal defence, so I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to the Gunners. Incidentally, that match takes place at +5 in the UK, live on Sky. Moving on to the next fixture, which is live on Sky again, 2 o'clock on Sunday. We've got Spurs coming up against Aston Villa, and Ollie Watkins may be unavailable for this fixture. Spurs, okay, they are in third position. They did gain a 2-1 away victory against Leeds, but they haven't been convincing of late, even though they've only lost the one match thus far this season. Coming up against the Villa side, starting to find their feet, undefeated in the last 4 matches. Morgan Rogers looks phenomenal as well at the moment, really good against Wales. A decent enough 2-1 home win against Burnley last time out, which was a follow-up of 3-1 victory against Fulham, where they won convincingly, although I think they came from behind in that victory against Fulham. So here at home, first time since September at home, I think the crowd will roar them to victory. I think it'll be tight. I think Aston Villa will get on the score sheet here after their early season drought. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory to Spurs.
This is a difficult fixture. Tottenham, they're doing exactly the opposite of what they did last season, just generally solid, grinding out results last year. They definitely won't do it in that. Whereas Villa, with the form that they kept around towards the end of September, start of October, completely the wrong time for the international break to come on. They did actually really well. They were actually undefeated in the phase between the 2 international breaks in the league, which is fairly decent, so it's come at the wrong time for me. And I don't know why Spurs will just grind it at the last minute again. Thomas Frank 1-0. Anyway, moving on, 4:30, Liverpool Man United. Pretty much the game of the weekend, I guess, isn't it? Liverpool sat in second. They have lost their last 2 matches against Crystal Palace and Chelsea. Yeah, that's not particularly great. Palace, absolutely phenomenal. Chelsea have had their decent bit of run, haven't they, apart from that? And then Manchester United, the most inconsistent side on the planet, losing to Brentford, losing to Manchester City, but then randomly grinding out results against the likes of Sunderland, Burnley, Chelsea, but they were against 10 men, and Burnley and Sunderland have come up from last season, haven't they? So got to take that with a pinch of salt, haven't you? Where am I going with this one? It's at Anfield. I don't think they've won at Anfield in the last 10 years, so let's go for Liverpool 4-0.
4-0?
Yep.
Wow, yeah, it's quite laughable that some Liverpool fans are going in complete meltdown after those 2 defeats in the league, and they lost in Europe as well. So they're saying there's a massive crisis at Liverpool. They bought the wrong players and they want to blood the young ones, even though they're just outperform the new ones, isn't it? It's just crazy. It's the 7th. They're in second in the league, and it's early days. Come on. But they're at home. They're playing Manchester United. Manchester United have been excellent at home, but on the road they've been woeful. And I'm going to have to go for a Liverpool win here. Isaac still trying to find his feet. That pre-season that he missed, fitness-wise and everything, it's woeful for Sweden, as you said, and that resulted in John Dahl Tomasson losing his job after that defeat against
former Blackburn manager.
So I will go for a victory to Liverpool. Ekitike has, for me, looked decent overall, so I think they'll just have a bit too much at Anfield for Manchester United. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory. And the final fixture of this game week takes place on Monday, live on Sky in the UK at 8 PM. We've got West Ham coming up against Brentford. West Ham, woeful. Just the 1 win this season, which was away against Nottingham Forest. A 2-0 defeat against Arsenal last time out, which was to be expected. However, they are coming up against Brentford side, who are in 16th position. We know whenever we tip against Brentford, they seem to do well, and vice versa on all that. A 1-0 home defeat against Manchester City. They weren't disgraced in that match, kept it very, very close, but the citizens came through in the end, and they really needed it. So in this one, I'm going to have to go for another draw. I think West Ham at home, the Hammers fans, it's an all London affair.
East and
London
West,
against
yeah.
West London, so I'm going to sit on the fence with this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, what a selection this is for
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, isn't it? If you look at actually West Ham, I know they've been absolutely awful at the start of the season, but the thing you've got to look at with West Ham is, aside from that Forest win, all of the losses and draws in like the last 6 games, all of them are in the top 10, so they've had a really difficult start, which is hard to make a good estimate on them. Brentford, they've been wildly inconsistent, but they've had a fairly hard run as well, which is quite hard to work out. And even then, some of the games they've been playing in, they've been great one week, awful the other week, so I can't make a fair assessment on both sides, especially with a manager change at West Ham. I don't have a clue where this one's going, and this is going to be a good watch, but I'm going to have to go what I've seen so far, and I think Brentford edge it, so 2-1.
Yeah, they've still got plenty of pace, haven't they?
Yeah.
Brentford. Okay, so those are our predictions for game week 8. As usual, make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. All the details are in the description. If you're not playing along on the Superbru website, then let us know your thoughts and predictions in the comments section as well. This weekend, Nathan, we're just getting over the international break. Cardiff City got Reading.
Yep.
At home on Saturday, so along with all your Wales media and YouTube videos, etc., I presume there's going to be a video vlog on your channel this weekend.
Yeah, there'll be one out for Reading. I've probably seen Reading more times than I know Kevin De Bruyne at this point, which just absolutely ridiculous. That's my channel, link in description below.
Yeah, thanks for joining us once again, Nathan. Thank you for joining us as well. Enjoy the Premier League action over the weekend. Remember your predictions, and we'll see you all in the next video.
How many times do you reckon we have seen Kevin De Bruyne?
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm humbling.